the Oaks. Well, we will see a hero born today. Great countdown music, wasn't it?
Yes. I mean, how can you not enjoy that?
That was spectacular. So this is Kentucky Oaks Live, presented by TwinSpires, hosted by America's Best Racing. I am Dan Tordjman. She is Ren Carothers.
I am.
We have a number of guests who will join us on the set here.
So many special guests. You do not want to miss out on this, okay? We have Derby connections coming up. Alessandro Sano, Mike Smith, Liam Benson. He's going to talk about Not This Time. And I mean, that's his boy, right?
I like how you just kind of mentioned Mike Smith as if like, oh yeah, there's some guy named Mike Smith will be joining us.
Hall
you may have heard of
Mike
him.
Smith. Well, I've been hanging out with Hall of Famers all day. I've been hanging out with Gary Stevens and Chris McCarron. I mean, how cool too, because we had the Ali Shiva run earlier today, and of course Chris McCarron won on Ali Shiva in '87, the Derby. So yeah, it's very cool. Very
cool. So more legends coming. We will watch the Kentucky Oaks. We're going to react to it in real time with you here. We're also going to have the TwinSpires Turf Sprint, which is coming up in about, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. We will react to that race as well. But for now, let's take a quick look around what's going on where we are, the infield here at Churchill Downs. These are some shots here, people milling about. You may notice the ponchos. Lots of ponchos out here today because it's been raining. And so, of course, that's part of the discussion that needs to be had about not only today in the Kentucky Oaks, but importantly, what happens tomorrow in the Kentucky Derby. And to start that discussion about the Kentucky Derby, we have someone closely connected to one of the Kentucky Derby runners, and that is the man to my left here, Alessandro Sano, the son of trainer Antonio Sano, who has simplification in the Kentucky Derby. You must be excited beyond belief.
That's correct. Dan, Ren, thank you for having me here. It's awesome being here, the first Saturday of May, where every American and everyone in the world wants to be, and the timings, the nervousness, all the emotions feeling together every day since being here since last Saturday, and it's counting the hours.
Very cool.
And you just came from the barn literally 10 minutes ago.
That's correct, Ren.
How's your boy? Tell us.
He's doing fantastic, He took his morning nap like always. He woke up, stretched them legs, was walking around, so he couldn't be feeling better. I'm really happy.
Well, what do you look for in a horse as you're training up to the Kentucky Derby?
When during this part of the game, I like to call it the final stretch. It's like the last furlong of the race. You do all the heavy lifting in Miami already, which is where we're from. Mm-hmm. And basically here is more nothing than maintenance work, making sure the horse goes to the track, comes back well, he's happy, and he's on his toes. This morning when he was with the pony on the track, he was definitely very feisty. The exercise rider was saying, Sano, while the other horses take 2 strides, somehow our horse takes 1.
Oh, wow.
And that's some beautiful things you want to hear out of the morning training.
So obviously he's taken to the surface very well.
That's correct, and he's tested everything, dry, wet, so hopefully we stay dry.
I thought even though he was beaten in the Florida Derby, he ran a really stellar race.
Thank you, Ren. He went out on a speed duel with Classic Casway, then after he was done with Classic Casway, Papa Cap came on the outside of him. So he was rushed out from the gate. It was different techniques we were trying in preparation for the big race today, and we decided to strategize a little bit, and it didn't hurt to try it out in Florida when we know our main goal is to definitely win the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
So what is the technique? You showed speed in the Florida Derby, as we talked about. In the Fountain of Youth, you came from off the pace. Are you going to reveal here what the strategy is on Saturday with simplification?
Dan, just like a good magician, never reveals the trick. That's what everyone pays to come here, right? To find out what's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, the people watching want to know, because this is for TwinSpires. People who are watching the show obviously plan on betting not only the Kentucky Derby, but the Kentucky Oaks. We got the TwinSpires Turf Sprint coming up in a few minutes. And by the way, at the bottom of your screen, you do see a sign-up bonus here, special for this week on TwinSpires. Use promo code BET200. There's a $25 free bet. You get risk-free bet with ABR too if you use promo code ABR25. So lots of stuff going on. Check out TwinSpires. But in terms of trying to, kind of project how this race unfolds, I know you're not going to tell me how simplification is going to run, but we do expect there's going to be speed from Classic Causeway, who is coming back in this race. You've also got Summerus tomorrow coming in for this race, who has speed. Messier has speed. Taiba has speed. Zozos has speed. Have I missed anybody? Who else has speed?
I think you covered everybody.
Okay.
You said Epicenter, right?
Epicenter has speed. So what do you do with that?
You know, it's funny. The way that the draw worked out is that a lot of speed horses are draw on the first couple of spots or the last couple of spots. So it's going to be interesting how jockey is going to make the decision right off the gate. We're lucky and blessed that Jose is a very tactical jockey.
Yes.
And we got a good spot, you know, the lucky number 13. So chit-chatting back and forth with Jose is always going to be based on a good start with the horse. And then from there, settle in. But I think there's going to be a lot of speed in the race. And the most important part is going to be the last 3 to 4 furlongs in the race based on where we are located.
Ren, you had the opportunity to catch up with Alessandro before this week
Yes,
to kind of preview everything. And I know you got into some of the discussion about some of his background and what he's working on now. What stood out to you in terms of kind of some of the more unique parts of his story and his journey here? And obviously elaborate on those for people who missed that interview.
Well, obviously, the thing that stands out most is your family went through a lot in Venezuela. Your father. Well, I'll let you tell your story.
Yeah, Ren. You know, our migration here is the typical story that you hear, starting from square zero and just chasing that big American dream. That we haven't been blessed to just have it once, but have it twice. Just being here in the Derby for a second time after what we encountered over there, it's a life blessing from God.
Aww.
We, as a family and friends, we suffer a lot out there, unfortunate security reasons, and like many people know these days, my father was kidnapped and held hostage.
Crazy. I can't even imagine going through that.
For a long time. And that was the deal breaker, saying that we need to leave the country and then migrate to America for changing life, for opportunity, a better education, and just staying alive, as a matter of fact. And it was a decision for the better. Unfortunately, it took certain things for us to get here. But at the end of the day, it was good that we're here. And, you know, just turning the page, being thankful for the country that made my family and made my father the trainer he is today. But definitely looking forward for a better future.
You are going to make Ren cry, by the way.
Well,
I mean, you look at her eyes. I mean, come on.
No, come on.
Any moment now.
I'm just thinking about him doing the walkover again because, like you mentioned before, Guinevere, now you're going to be doing the walkover with Simplification. Before that giant crowd, the throng of fans. I can't imagine what that feels like to be connected to a horse as intimately as you are. And the other thing that I'm so impressed by, Alessandro, is his dedication to this sport. He's currently finishing up vet school, and he wants to be a vehicle for change.
Yeah, which is obviously extremely commendable. I saw your interview, and you said you want that next generation of racing folks to bring good to racing and to improve our image as a sport.
That's correct. You know. Unfortunately, there's not as many veterinarians out there, veterinary students I don't see that are passionate to do racetrack work. But the few that we're there, I can assure you that we're going to do it for the better. You know, the sport has gotten thrown back with a lot of bad news lately, and many people get discouraged with certain reasons. But the few strong that were there in the sport, our goal is not making money, not charging owners a lot of bills, but to see these horses sound, and to see them race, and to see them be happy, you know? And obviously, if they end up winning greatest stake races, they end up being here the first Saturday of May, that's what brings a smile to us and job at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, making money that you mentioned is the priority for a lot of people watching. That's why they bet on the races. So I will say, I want to know a couple of things real quick. Do you bet at all? Do you bet on races at all?
No, I don't. That was the foundation that my dad built us on and encouraged us on. Is
no betting.
No betting, but
okay. So no betting. So you're not going to be able to help us out with the handicapping, but. Well, you won't be able to help us out with the betting, but maybe you could do a little bit of handicapping.
Oh, yeah,
and that
he
is
still has to do that.
That
sure.
is, yeah. You've looked at this race. Who scares you the most in the Kentucky Derby?
You know, Dan, with a very humble response, and after meeting my horse for a long time, I have no fear for this race tomorrow.
Oh wow!
Okay.
I respect all the contenders.
You heard that here.
Yep, on the
we all
record.
have the same chance. You know, 20 horses.
Yeah.
There's horses that are training very good out there. Sandan looks beautiful. Waterbury and Charger are great coming out of the Florida Derby. But I have such a big hope on my horse tomorrow that I was willing to miss my final at Simon Betsky to be here, Ren.
Oh,
so
wow.
let's have it paid off.
Love that.
All right, well, that's confidence if I ever heard it. I wish I was that confident about some of my picks and some of my projections. Alessandro Sano, thank you so much for stopping by. We wish you the best of luck tomorrow and beyond, and we look forward to following your journey.
Thank you very much, Dan. It's amazing to be here with you guys. You do amazing stuff for the sport, and let's have fun tomorrow.
All right. So as you go back to work, I'm assuming you're going back to the barn before the day's over? You got to go back?
That's correct.
Okay, so the day's not over yet.
Not for a while.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So Alessandro's going back to the barn. We're going to take a look here at the infield and check out the scene here around Churchill Downs. Again, the weather here is a discussion we just touched on, and we haven't really taken too deep of a dive into so far, but it's relevant, A, for this turf race coming up, which is the turf sprint, and then it's also going to be relevant for this discussion of the Kentucky Oaks.
What is our official track condition?
The official track condition, let me pull it up here, is... It's firm. Well, no, good to firm.
Okay.
So good to firm.
Okay, so not too...
Yeah. So let's just give a quick overview of this race. At the moment, your favorite is, let's see, we're going to have to do a little bit of scrolling here on the fly. Your favorite is number 10, who actually, I thought on paper, seemed to me like the clear-cut speed in this race, and that's Arrest Me Red. There are speed horses drawn outside, including Just Might. I noticed that your strategy, based on what you told me, is to play the horse just inside of them.
Yeah, I like Pyron. I just think it's so impressive that he was able to close into a slow pace. I mean, it's not like that race was run on soft ground, tiring ground. I mean, it was a firm turf course going the 5.5 furlongs, and the half was run in 46-1. I mean, for this level of competition in a stakes race, that's slow.
It is. And look, I like the way he was moving. I've also kind of gone back, and I did handicap as well for as we take sips of our White Claw to refresh. And we encourage you at home. White Claw, of course, obviously an official partner of the Kentucky Derby.
And it's gluten-free.
Gluten-free. Whatever your drink of choice is, grab one and join us here for the next little bit as we bet. I landed on a couple of long shots based on some analysis I did for softer ground, but also anticipating the horses on the outside, maybe speeding things up early. If it sets up for a horse from off the pace, there were two horses that I liked. One of them, as I'm scrolling through here, is going to be the 4-horse Chasing Artie. Can you see the odds on that horse? They should be high. Let's see, Chasing Artie right now is, come on. By the way, 8 minutes to post. Chasing Artie right now is 8-1, bet down from 20-1.
Wow,
so
okay.
I guess I was onto something there. Chasing
Yes.
Artie right now 8-1 is a horse that I thought could close from off the pace. Really like some of his recent races, and I think he has some form over this kind of track that I think would suit him well here, and also if the pace is hot, I think he runs well. And then I also like Diamond Oops a little bit, 7-horse.
I think Diamond Oops is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's came out of a 4th place finish there in the Shakertown. That's the first time he had been on the turf in quite some time. It had been October in a grade 1 when you look back at it, and from an outside, or an outer draw anyway. And while 8th, only beaten 4.5 lengths. So the horse obviously has some ability. I think the Learjet could be sneaky here, by the way.
Learjet, okay. The Learjet is the 2-horse here.
Only because this is a horse, I'm not going to get too far into form because he's so inconsistent. But when he puts in a big race, he puts in a big race.
Absolutely. Now, what you could do here, you can bet a horse to win.
That's right.
If they finish 2nd or 3rd on TwinSpires, you get your money back. So
now see, Dan messed this up. He tweeted earlier, I had a horse run 2nd, not 3rd.
I know.
2nd yesterday at 13-1.
My bad. So
it's okay.
You could do that. The other thing you could do now is bet a double into the Kentucky Oaks.
Yes.
Is there anything you've seen today around the track? I know you've been running around working with Gary Stevens and hanging out with legends, Chris McCarron, all that. To my eyes, speed has been very good today. Is there anything, based on what you've seen, that kind of puts you on one side or another of a horse you may have liked or not liked in the Kentucky Oaks coming up?
I'm going to stick to what I've been saying. For me, it's between Secret Oath and Nest. But that being said, if what you're saying is true, and even with the extra rain we've gotten since, that speed is still carrying, then obviously you got to think, okay, Echo Zulu has a big shot. A lot of people are dismissing her.
Yep.
But then let's say that she does capitulate for some reason. Could we maybe have Ugiri out there still, on the lead?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But from a class standpoint, again, I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. I was absolutely shocked when I saw the morning line for the Oaks and you had Secret Oath at 6-1.
Yeah.
She lost, she ran her eyeballs out in the Arkansas Derby. If you watch the start of that race, a few strides out, she got cut in front of, had to take up a little bit. Then that move was made a bit early.
Yep.
And I mean, she made it, and she just flattened out in the stretch. You can't really blame her for that. I think that is a quality filly that they were trying to get Derby points for. Why do we not think that she can win the Kentucky Oaks?
Right. Yeah. I'm not going to hold that race against her at all. I think she was put in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Did the best she could, and I think within this company here, she's going to run against in the Oaks. She stands a real chance. Look, I want to talk just a quick double here. I'm going to tell you how I bet this race.
Okay.
And the way I bet this race is that I did 3 horses into 4 horses. So the horses that I like here are Diamond Dukes, the 7, number 4, Chasing Artie, your horse, number 9, Pyron. I also like the horse number 6, Bran. I think that's a horse who's kind of shown improved form. And so I like that a lot. And I, again, could get a sit a nice trip. And then into the Oaks, I used the 2-horse Nostalgic, who's my long shot play.
That's right, yep.
I used Nest, I used Hidden Connection, and I used Kathleen O. I left out Echo Zulu, who I liked based on speed, and I also left out Secret Oath. So anyhow, what's your double look like? Who would you play?
Well, I would go just trying to swing and hit something with using the Learjet, Pyron, and why not Diamond Oops? I think that's pretty solid there. And then I think if you're going to make any type of money, you really kind of have to just, even though you like a horse at a shorter price, kind of leave him off. And so I would just go maybe to Secret Oath. It would, and Nostalgic, because like you, my husband, who knows a little something also about handicapping, he loves her. He loves her.
Yeah.
But I would probably, depending on how much you want to spend, I'll admit I haven't put a double in myself. I did do an Oaks Derby double.
Okay. What does that look like?
Oh gosh, I'd have to pull it up because I did it on the fly. But I'll get to it in a minute. But no, I just really think that it's a situation where we either see form hold true or something funny happens.
Yep. Well, we've got the TwinSpires Turf Sprint coming up in just a few minutes here. We're then going to have the feature of the day, the Kentucky Oaks.
Yes.
We've also got a special guest joining us momentarily. Mike Smith will be calling into the show. So we're waiting for him any moment now. Mike Smith will be joining the show. We'll also have Liam Benson, friend of the family, friend of ABR,
and
coming on.
It's fun to have Liam on because, we were just talking to Alessandro, and don't forget that simplification is by not this time.
Right.
And Liam actually, can I say this? Liam will make the joke. Liam sells not this time sperm. So that's his job. He says that's his job. He gets paid to sell sperm. So
oh my God.
So not this time is his boy.
Yep.
And so he's got to. I saw them over there meet and greet each other. With the
did they?
with the bro shake.
A little bro
shake.
shake.
Yeah.
So that was the infield scene. We talked about the weather. It's wet out there. Trends I have noticed thus far. It does feel like horses are making moves from off the pace on the turf.
Yeah.
On the dirt, the inside is really good. Horses getting to the front, getting to the rail, have more or less been staying there. We've seen some horses come from off the pace slightly to win on the dirt, but those have been really good horses, exceedingly better. And we've seen a lot of horses that maybe would have backed up a little bit on the dirt who haven't, which makes me like Echo Zulu a little bit more. And you mentioned Ugiri as a potential pace horse in the Oaks. I don't think Ugiri is fast enough to stay with Echo Zulu. Everyone's kind of like,
You may be right. You may be right. Yeah.
I don't think now. And you also have Venti Valentine just to the outside of Echo Zulu. So you can have this 2-pronged attack on either side of Echo Zulu. But I still think she's the fastest horse in this field. So she's dangerous. Again, my double's in. I'm not changing it. You never cancel a ticket. So I'm leaving that double in. And then once we get to the Oaks, I'm going to reassess where we're at.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to put another bet in on Echo Zulu and the other horse that I like, Nostalgic, at a big price.
There you go. That's how you got to play it. The 3 fillies I'm using in my Oaks Derby double are Secret Oath, Nostalgic, and Nest.
Okay.
If Nest wins, it's not going to pay much.
It's not. So Nest, let's just take a look. This is Nest earlier in the week on the
She's
track.
so pretty. What a good-looking
That's
girl.
like, I feel like I'm not great at looking at horses and being that's a pretty horse. Like I don't have any right to say that, but I feel like anybody could look at this horse and be like, that is a beautiful horse.
Well, you know how you can play it safe. Anytime you see the name Todd Pletcher next to a horse, you can say it's a pretty horse and you will never be wrong.
Yep.
You will never be wrong.
Yep.
But yeah, she's just beautiful, and she's got a pedigree that should love the. She already won on the wet fast track It was wet fast label that day, right?
I can look it up. It wasn't listed as wet, but it was like Megan mentioned yesterday. It was a little cuppy. So
a little cuppy.
Little cuppy.
But the bottom line is she's even if it all opened up right now and it was a sloppy track, she would love it. Curling over AP Indy.
Yep.
Please.
So we've got a couple of minutes now to the TwinSpires Turf Sprint. We've got a couple of guests standing by. I'm almost inclined to mix it up a little bit and bring one of them on. But if we do, then we may have Mike on with him. But you want to do it anyway? You want to just like roll the dice?
We can do that. I'll just tell him not to embarrass us.
All right, let's get his attention somehow.
I'm
get his
joking.
attention. We'll bring him on. Pete, come on now. Yeah, come on in now. We'll get you in and out earlier. So joining us right now, you're going to see him in a moment here. One of the most familiar. Bring that chair in with you.
Hello. Oh, thank you. You got 3-piece going.
If you haven't heard, if the voice hasn't come through the mic yet, I mean, it will momentarily, and you'll be like, oh wow, I know that voice. Yeah, just bring it up through here, through the middle. Yeah, bring it up behind me.
Oh yeah, you're coming in through.
There you go. That helps. People watching are like, what the heck are they doing off camera right now? No, you're good. Be careful with this seat too, because it'll snap back on you. I'll hold it down. I'll hold it down for you. Look at those pants, Jesus! Look at those pants. Those are amazing.
Now we're rocking and
Those
rolling.
pants caught Ren's attention earlier.
She's like,
you gotta see Pete's pants.
He's got the tighter like man pants.
It's the English cut.
They
kind of feel like jeans, which I like.
Okay, well.
Thus concludes the fashion portion.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
no, you even got the pocket square kicking.
They're going into the gate. Oh wait, actually they're off now. They're off now in the TwinSpires Turf Sprint. Who did you have in the TwinSpires Turf Sprint?
I spread. I used about 4 runners here, with my top selection being Gear Jockey, but I thought it was chaotic.
Okay.
I thought the Learjet might be able to get a piece of the price.
I
she likes the Learjet.
too.
Yeah. So let's
Okay,
see.
here it
He's one of
is.
those horses. He's so inconsistent, but when he runs, he runs.
Yeah, and I thought he had an excuse
The
last
Learjet's
time
on the lead.
off the layoff.
Ooh, Diamond Oops just checked back badly. So Diamond Oops, not what you want there. And we were on Diamond Oops, so Diamond Oops checked back pretty badly. And then I like this horse, who's almost off the screen, the 4-horse,
Not
Chasing
easy
Artie.
in the short race, but
yeah,
well, we'll see. It could come apart here. They look like they're really
They
running.
are going fast. Well, pretty fast. 22-4. Chasing Artie's going to make a move, but has no shot of getting there from there. Look how he's flying, though. This horse back here is flying. No, this looks like the 10. Well, maybe the horse up the rail. Is that Caravel? If Caravel wins...
I'd love to see Caravel.
If Caravel wins,
go on with this Caravel.
That's Matt's pick.
Yeah.
Matt pick. Who is it? Is that her?
Is the 10. It's 10-1, maybe 8. So it's Arrest Me Red, who we talked about.
Wesley
it was
Ward.
the favorite.
Gregorian.
Stop me if you've heard this one. Wesley Ward just won a valuable turf sprint.
Unbelievable.
No, yeah. I mean, that's
Gregorian
shocking.
Chant in the mix at 10-1. Caravel went off at 3-1, so it's definitely...
I don't think she appreciated the rain. That's going to be my read on her. I'm a big Caravel fan, bred by Liz Merriman, who's a friend who used to train horses.
Maryland,
for me.
baby, Maryland.
Yep, exactly. So good to be here with you guys.
Well, thank you for joining us, Pete.
Super fun.
And so we kind of decided to ring Pete in late, very late.
Well, Pete is like omnipresent.
He is. He's everywhere anyway.
In the money media, it's everywhere. I was in the gift shop and I saw Kinchin merchandise.
That shirt that's here is so nice. The one with the black with the red roses.
Yes.
So here's the best part about that. You know, this man, Jonathan Kinchin, who I famously plucked from obscurity. Now I got to go to the gift shop and plunk down $100 for his.
You don't get a cut. You don't get.
No.
Oh.
This is his. You know, my man went into business for himself, and God bless him. But you know,
he started the LLC. He's like, you know, Kinchin products.
The Pete Fortitail collection can have more of the English slant to it.
There you go. We're going to work on that.
There you go.
Do you consult on this stuff? I mean, we might.
You know, I'm a good hype chick.
Okay, good.
She is. We've been talking about the rain. We've seen a lot of people in ponchos walking around. They've been crowding in here. Whenever the rain comes down, even a little bit, they all cram in here. You know, they leave their drinks behind. They ask us for picks, which, by the way, I gave out a 2.8 exacta that hit 2 races ago.
Good.
No one came by and said thank you. I had to buy my own White Claw.
That's sad.
No tip, no nothing. How about you? what do you think in terms of the weather? We haven't seen anything significant. I don't think that the track's been impacted dramatically by the weather, the dirt. I want to know about the Oaks, but it seems to me that all day horses on the front have been doing fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, speed kills, right? So it's always hard to separate what's going on atmospherically from sort of the inherent bias of when you're running these races around tight turns.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm always looking for speed almost regardless unless the track really gives me a reason not to. And Churchill's one of these tracks that I think famously just dries very well, both in terms of dirt and turf. So I doubt, even though we had like significant rain, it probably isn't, they probably haven't changed any turf condition. I do think though that sometimes on the turf it can be subtle, and like in that last race we talked about a runner like Carothers. I just don't think they appreciate it when it gets a little slick. They really want to be able to dig their toe in.
Okay. So when you think about the Oaks now, tell me where you were. I don't know, at the beginning of the day. Where are you now? Same spot generally?
Pretty much. I mean, my main opinions, and they may not be popular ones because they're two fillies. They're so cool, and it pains me to say that I'm against them. I'm going to try to be against Echo Zulu, the undefeated champion. I mean, she's so cool.
I feel bad about it. I you know me, I'm a Breeders' Cup chick, and
Breeders' Cup chick.
I want to root for her, but at the same time, it's like she's going to be short, or maybe she, I don't know. Maybe there are enough people like you who are going to pan her, and she won't be as short as we might think. But people, the general public sees the undefeated record and they gravitate to it.
Champion, all the ones to the right of the PPs. I'm going to try to beat her today. Would it surprise me at all if she stuffs me in a locker? No, and it wouldn't be the first time either, because it happened at the Breeders' Cup as well. And then I'm also a little bit against Secret Oath. I mean, she's so cool.
You're really
hurting
her.
I knew I was going to piss somebody off.
End.
I knew I was going to have it. I'm taking the view, and it could be a terrible opinion, but I'm taking the view that the Arkansas Derby was a slow race in general, and I'm going to be against those horses until they prove it to me otherwise. With that in mind, I think if you take those two out, it kind of makes the market for you in a race like the Exacta. I'm immensely respectful of both Nest and Kathleen O, and then I think Hidden Connection, not just because black-type thoroughbreds, my friends who I've been hanging out with all day, but also Desert Dawn. I think they're the interesting ones to sort of feather in there. So those will be the four runners I'm playing around with in a wager like the Exacta. We'll see if we can get the job done.
How do you envision it unfolding from a pace perspective? We know Echo Zulu is going to be there. Venti Valentine, can she stay within a length? Ugiri going to stick with her?
I think Ugiri is the one who is on pace figures, the one who is the most likely horse to make the lead.
You think she's on the lead? You think Echo Zulu is just off of her?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll probably battle for it. I think they'll be together every step of the way.
They take out the starch from each other, hook and cook.
Could be. Yep.
And then, I don't think Venti Valentine will be too far back. Yeah. But, obviously the ones I'm picking, they're going to come calling on the turn, and we'll see if they're good enough.
I want to show you a horse here. This is a horse named Nostalgic. I've somehow fallen in love with this horse. The horse who beat Venti Valentine in the Gazelle. That key race that always tells you who's going to win the Kentucky Oaks. I don't know how I landed on this horse, but I watched her. She looked so brave late. She made that great move up the rail, and she closed into just an incredibly slow pace. They almost went, I think, 50 to the half, and then 113. And she was the only horse who gained any ground late. Am I crazy for liking this horse? On figures, on everything, she's not there. But, I mean, visually, I'm in love with her.
I think she's interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she's good enough to win a salty Oaks like this one. But if you're looking for a horse to round out tries and one who could surprise, I mean, when you're dealing with, you got a sick pedigree here. And I think she's a little bit late developing. From what I've seen, and I'd love to hear your opinion, Ren, she's looked really good.
Oh no, she has looked good. I mean, that was a good finish for her right there with Echo Zulu, and I think we have a special guest waiting for us.
Oh, beautiful!
Oh, is he in there?
He
my God,
in there.
So here we go. So pop this in. You're going to help us with this interview too now.
Oh wow,
you weren't expecting this.
I've done that before. We can do this on the fly.
Bringing in our special guest. There he is.
Mike Smith.
Oh, fantastic.
How you doing, Mike? Do you hear us well?
Yeah, I hear you. Sorry, I'm a little late. I was waiting for the race to go off, and I'm watching TV, and it never showed it.
It's all right. We're not going to hold it against you at all. Where are you right now?
I'm in a place I'm staying at, Airbnb that I rented for the few days.
Nice. So, how excited are you for tomorrow?
Well, I try not to let it get to me yet, Ren. otherwise I'd be too excited right now. By the time tomorrow comes, I'll be wore out, man. So I've learned. It took about 27 derbies to learn that. So, so I'm learning just to kind of control myself, just keep myself in a real calm place, and just get ready for tomorrow. That way, when that race comes up, man, all that energy is gonna help me get him across the wire first.
So, Mike, you're on a horse named Teba. We've actually had a lot of debate about the pronunciation. Does that sound right to you, Teba?
Yes, that's the horse's name, Teba. Rick could probably tell you more about the name than I could.
If that's what Frank Miramati says, then that's the name. So we'll go Teba.
All right, so let's do this real quick. We want to show the stretch run of the Santa Anita Derby and why everyone is so excited about Teba. So sit tight, 20 seconds here. We'll catch you on the other end as we're going to ask you about this ride.
Running a giant race on the outside, 3/16 of a mile to run, and it's Messier and Teba 1-2. Forbidden Kingdom 5 behind. Inside the 8th pole, Messier, Teba running lights out on the outside, and here's Teba getting the upper hand in the final stages. The run-happy Santa Anita Derby goes to Teba under Mike Smith. Messier was second, Happy Jack third, Armagnac finished fourth.
Mike, I got to ask you, when did you first become aware that there was a filly named Teba? Colt named Teba, sorry.
Yeah, I worked him as a 2-year-old. I know a good friend of mine, Gary Young, is the Dan's bloodstock agent. So I had heard all about the purchase and when they got him. And so I was excited to get on him early on as a 2-year-old. When he first came in, he just wasn't quite ready to run yet. He was kind of going through a little bit of a growth spurt. And although he never missed no training as a 2-year-old, he just wasn't quite ready. They didn't think they wanted to be trying to run him at 5/8 of a mile or 5.5. They wanted to wait a little while, and then just little things. It just took his time, I guess, to finally get him running. I didn't get the opportunity to ride him first time out. Johnny Velasquez rode him, and as everyone knows, I mean, he just ran. He ran to his purchase price, so to say. They paid $1.7 million for him, and he ran like a horse that they paid $1.7 million for. And he came back again in the Santa Anita Derby. What he lacks in experience, man. I mean, he's got abundance of talent, man. It's crazy how much talent this horse has.
So Red and I have gone back a little bit about that experience question. How do you know if a horse like Teba? Okay, you see, it's messing with my head now. How do you know if a horse like this can handle a scene like this? Is it something that you feel being around the horse? How do you know if the horse is going to be able to handle all these people going nuts, being in the gate with 19 other horses tomorrow?
Well, honestly, you don't ever really know until you're put in that situation. Rather you ran twice or 5 or 7 or 7 or 8 times, to be honest with you. Sometimes, man, there's just something about the Derby crowd that just makes some horses just unwind, and they're basically beat before they even go to the starting gate just because they can't handle the pressure. But some of them are great with it, and he seems to be a cool customer. I mean, he's not he's very intelligent, very laid-back horse. They schooled him over here a few times already, and, man, he acts like he owns the place already. So he should handle it good. He's a good fielder. Once he gets out in the post parade, he'll be feeling good. He'll play around a little bit, but that's just kind of him. Once we start out warming up.
Have you been on him at all since he's been here?
No, I haven't. Watching it very well.
I think one of the questions people are going to have about Teba is facing this 20-horse field after running in so many shorter fields out in California. Is there anything you feel sitting on him that makes you think that he'll be particularly suited or not suited to facing so many more competitors than he has in the past?
Well, the game, the idea is not I don't plan on coming from last.
He doesn't have to beat more than 6?
I plan to make a 4 or 5 horse field right away there. So forwardly played, basically put that scenario out of the question. I mean, you don't have to worry about 50 others if you're already, laying 3rd or 4th or 5th, and you're in a good spot. So what you worry about really with him is foundation. Does he have enough foundation? We won't know that until tomorrow afternoon. But I'm not worried about green like I said, he's really straightforward, and he's quick. So if good Lord's willing, get away run, be able to put him in the spot where he'll probably.
All right. Well,
right.
Well, Mike, thank you so much. The audio is cutting out just a touch, so I feel like we've already held you more than we should, and we appreciate you being on with us, and we wish you much success tomorrow in the Kentucky Derby.
He's my pick.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I want to see Mike make history again. I mean, in a number of ways. He broke the curse of Apollo with Justify. I don't know if they call it the curse of Leonidas or whatnot, but he could do that here too.
I heard someone earlier today say Mike Smith is the Tom Brady of horse racing.
He is. He's the GOAT.
Sure. Well, and to that point, bidding to become the oldest jockey to win the race, does that make you bristle when you hear that, Mike? Or is that an honor you're excited about?
It's an honor. I'll surpass it with his name. It's a big honor.
So Bill Shoemaker, the current person who owns that designation for winning with Ferdinand in 1986. Mike Smith could be the guy holding that placard after tomorrow. Mike, we wish you a lot of luck.
We do.
All right, thank you, Mike. Be well. Oh, probably get out of that one. There we
What good fun.
Oh my gosh,
awesome.
no, that's great. The only thing is, do you guys hear like feedback of your own voice?
Yeah, we're getting, yeah.
A little bit of a delay.
I at first, when I heard myself coming back at me, I was like, oh, wow. What is happening
We're
here?
throwing curveballs. He didn't even know he was coming on today. I texted him like 30 minutes ago. I was like, come on to the set.
What a nice guy. He's such a genuine human.
him.
I mean, you can't not root for the dude.
How, listen.
Mike Smith, you were talking about me inviting you on at the last minute.
You're okay. You're all right. But you're no Mike Smith.
I thought you were like,
I've
you thought
talked
you
to
were
Mike
bringing
Smith,
some
and you're no
love.
Mike
Oh,
Smith.
no.
No, I thought he was being sarcastic because I invited him on with like 20 minutes before in the rain. I was like, yeah, walk to the infield. So I thought he was sarcastically saying, oh, what a great guy this is.
Do you know
Can't help but root for him. He's such a good guy.
I'm watching poor girls in their fascinators getting soaked, running barefoot through the tunnel.
It ain't easy.
Yeah, it ain't.
A lone feather just soaked in rain, laying on the ground from a fascinator that has apparently come apart.
Yes.
But, hey, we're out here to have fun and make money anyway, so who cares?
That's the plan.
We're going to let you tag out. Now, you're going to tag in that guy right there with the hat. You know that guy?
Which guy are we looking at?
With the orange beard, Liam Benson.
Oh, there's Liam. Yeah. I
Sipping
know
on
him
the White Claw.
from the Twitter machine.
Oh, I thought he was going to get into the crouch position.
We're going to bring him in.
That meme.
Liam, don't turn your back on us. You're coming in. So
that's good, because for me now, it's boozing time.
It's boozing time.
Yeah, it's boozing time.
But we've already
Before
been
you
doing
go, you will be on with us tomorrow from 1 o'clock to 4, Kentucky Derby Live.
Can't wait. Going to be so much fun. Love working with you guys, and what an atmosphere here at this Kentucky Derby. So great to have a Derby back in May. And maybe, just maybe, we'll have a horse for a May Derby that crosses the wire first and keeps the race for the first time since 2018.
That would be nice.
It's
Yeah,
wild.
wouldn't that be cool?
It's wild. Peter Thomas,
Cheers.
Fortisal, folks. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you making time for us. Thank you. Do I get a kiss too?
I'm not. I mean,
okay.
The beard's
What
a
a
little
gentleman.
itchy, though.
All right. As Pete Fornital
Bye, Pete.
bids us adieu for today, he'll be back tomorrow. We welcome in Liam Benson from TaylorMade. Liam has been, I think he's...
Liam, tell him what you do for a living once you get the mic.
Somewhat infamous for another bit of content he's done with us over the years, named Chrome Baby Chronicles, among other things.
The Chrome Baby Chronicles,
Liam,
yes.
now you actually exist. We don't just pull you out of like a cave just to do those bits with us.
Sometimes it feels like you do, though. I don't know. I do feel a bit used, but it's fine. I do like you guys, so it's worth it. But no, it's been a lot of fun. America's Best Racing has been good to me. I met you back at Monmouth in 2014.
It's been a while now.
It's going back 8 years. I mean, it's
8 years ago, which is
Yeah.
kind of
Crazy.
trippy.
Yeah, I know, it's terrifying.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
It is. No, I mean, because I think about it, at that point I was a trainer, and since then, I stopped training, didn't quite cut it, and
come on.
went from trainer to assistant trainer to groom in a matter of 3 months. But now I sell horse semen for a living. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Well, she said sperm.
I
You said
did-
semen.
I did say
Semen, I
sperm.
think, is the more sort of, professional
nicer,
way to say it.
Okay. Ahoy!
And by the way, I did notice a viewership spike just now as we're starting this conversation. So there's something to it. Liam, and I just want to say one thing. You're like, oh, well, I didn't cut it as a trainer, and then I did this and I did that. You would have cut it whatever you set out to do. It just happens that now you've settled into this thing where you're comfortable, and so don't sell yourself short.
No, listen, I enjoy everything I do. I mean, I enjoyed training. It was a great gig, but at the end of the day, you have to keep winning races. And, it was, my parents were great. We had a great run there for a while. We had one really nice horse that I have to think that's how Ren and I got to know each other.
Yes.
Was that photo that Jason Beeman
photoshopped.
Oh my gosh!
I got put in some uncomfortable scenes.
I wish we had that photo on standby.
Oh my gosh! It was one of the funniest. I'm not even joking. I was literally at home on my couch. Tears.
Oh my God! It was hysterical.
Streaming down my face from laughing so hard at the series of Photoshop memes that people did with this image of him crouching, watching a race.
Oh my God!
They put him in so many different scenarios, some of which you could probably guess. Others that were just so creative that I was just like, oh my gosh.
Winning the race was nice, but what a lot of people don't realize is part of that inquiry, I was waiting to cash a ticket. That was really the big thing. I was waiting to catch the ticket.
Well,
so
since we're doing a show here on TwinSpires, the question is, and I don't know how big of a bettor you are these days, but if you're putting a bet down on the Kentucky Oaks, let's start with that race, then we'll move into the Derby. And also, if you were a trainer, which one of these Oaks fillies would you like to be training?
I mean, Echo Zulu has just done everything right. I mean, I don't want to say it's the obvious choice, but it's kind of the easy one.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a filly who came off a fairly long layoff, and Hidden Connection's a nice horse.
Yep.
And she still beat her off that big layoff, and second off a layoff, and she's getting an extra week over, the likes of Nest, and I don't know. I think she's going to be tough to beat. I'm not going to get cute with this.
Okay.
I think she's just the best filly of her generation right now.
Yeah.
And I think she's getting ready to run a big one.
Why do you think people are lukewarm on her? They seem to be a little cold this week on her.
I think it's a recency bias.
Yeah.
I really think it's that simple. But I mean, listen, there's a handful of fillies in this race that if they won, you're like, well, yeah, of course they did.
Yeah.
It's the same way with the Derby. There's 15 horses in there that really, if they won, you'd look at it and say, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the first year in a while. To me, it really is wide open.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what was fun?
Yeah,
just real quick, yesterday, so there was the Kentucky Juvenile Run. The horse who ran second in there, out of a mare that you bred. Magnetic. At least it said Liam Benson.
He's like, oh,
the more you know.
Unless there's another Liam Benson.
Well, it was probably my father.
Well, there you go. Your dad bred it.
Yeah, no, that was the boss man. I didn't come around till a little later on. But
well, I don't know. Sometimes people let their kid you're the breeder.
Yeah.
My father, he's given me a lot of opportunities, but that one's definitely in his wheelhouse.
There you go.
We'll talk about some of your connection to the Derby real quick.
Yeah, okay, you're wearing the Not This Time hat. You got to talk about this, how this horse just blew up. I mean, we always knew he had talent. He had that bad start in the juvenile, and he may have actually gotten a Classic Causeway had that not happened. And now he just blew up as a sire, which is really cool to see, not only from the perspective of somebody we enjoy and like having success, but also because he is continuing the line at Giants Causeway and standing there at TaylorMade Farm.
The really cool thing about Not This Time, he got there before I did. I arrived at TaylorMade. It was his second year. We had California Chrome in his second season. We had Emshuish in his second year. And Not This Time, he's the son of Giants Causeway, Giants Causeway was the iron horse. He really was.
Yeah.
Fantastic sire. But we've always kind of been waiting for the next stallion here in the U.S. to stick. You've got First Samurai over at Claiborne, who's a really useful type of sire. But, there was always an expectation that he was going to get one to pop here in North America. His mother really is the core of it. Mark Taylor was saying it there a couple of weeks ago. If you look at his female family, he's out of a mare, Miss Macy Sue.
Yes.
She was a graded stakes winner herself. She was third in the Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint the first year they ran it at Monmouth Park.
Also produced Liam's map.
She had really the only sire by Unbridled Song who stuck. I mean, Liam's map has had a hell of a career of his own right. So Miss Macy Sue, I think, is really where most of the credit should go to. And it's nice because the Albaugh family raced her. They bred Liam's map. They sold him as a yearling for a ton of money. And so when it came time to sell the Giants Causeway yearling out of her, Frank Taylor went to them and said, you know, if you put this horse in sale, he's going to bring a lot of money. They looked at him and they said, not this time. And so that's how he got his name.
That's awesome.
And it's one of the cool things about him, he's producing these fantastic racehorses that really aren't coming from big female families. You know, his first 2 years he stood for 15,000, then 12,500 for the next couple of years, and we were wheeling and dealing in the fourth year. If a guy like me can breed 4 mares to him, chances are we were doing deals. And to see where he's at now, where he's advertised at 75,000, and you know, hopefully this weekend goes well. You know, hopefully that just keeps on going. But he's doing it for breeders who maybe don't necessarily get an opportunity to breed to $75,000 sires or $125,000 sires. So there's a lot of small breeders getting to reap the rewards of the, you know.
Right.
It's a really cool story.
Well,
Talked about him.
The thing is that he's not going to like name names or anything, but he was telling me if I could tell you some of the people we've had to turn down, some of the mares we've had to turn down, it would blow your mind. And the thing about him is, he really stamps his progeny too. They like look a lot. You can see him in them. And now here in the Derby, we got Epicenter, which does the other side say simplification, or is it just Epicenter period?
I've got Epicenter here. I've got my simplification hat for tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know. I might just I might just put on the just one time hat for tomorrow. She's in the Derby City Distaff. I know, but I
Every
don't
inch of the hat covered with names.
I know. I don't know that the Asmussen barn wants to walk over with simplification and Sano. I don't think he wants to walk over with Epicenter. I mean, I'm sure they're friends, but I don't know.
So funny.
How cool is that for you? I mean, how do you root for one or the other? You're rooting for both, I'm sure.
I mean, listen, my first job on the racetrack, it's funny, when I was 16 years old, I got my driver's license. I got in the car in Florida, drove overnight, worked at TaylorMade for 2 weeks, did a little internship there, and then I drove to Louisville and I was walking hots for Steve Asmussen under Scott Blasey. So to see them have one of the first big horses by Not This Time, it's kind of cool for me, you know. So it's exciting for all the connections, and you know.
We want to see you back in that pose one more time.
Yeah.
You know that.
Listen.
He's like, not this time.
There's a scenario where it might happen. I'm okay with it. Listen, the last time it worked out okay, so maybe it's not a bad thing.
Right, it's not a bad thing
I don't
at
mind
all.
sweating it out a little bit.
So look, we know you like Echo Zulu in the Oaks, which is coming up in, let's see, how many minutes to post? If we could pull this up real quick. The Kentucky Oaks is in 33 minutes. We still got some time.
Who's taller, you or Jason Luch?
That's tight.
I know, right?
Jason's a big dude. It's not often I kind of have to. I don't know that I lean back, but
Jason is part of Albaugh family stable.
Jason manages the Albaughs, the Albaughs horses, and man, there's such a great group of people.
That's awesome.
I mean, they're just easy to root for, and it's it's fun to be part of this whole thing. You know, I wasn't there at the start. I'm not going to say I was, but I was there from year 2 on. I like to remind the bosses that this group of 3-year-olds is part of the first group that I was booking. So,
your first crop?
Yeah, so my first crop. Lord have mercy. Thank God there's none of them running around.
Again, a spike in viewership. I can't definitively make the connection, but I'm going to assume that's what it is.
No, we're right before the Oaks. They're really here to talk about
exactly.
I want to hear about Oaks.
But no, we've kind of tiptoed around the Derby. You set your biases aside.
Yeah.
How's the Derby going to unfold? Who do you like?
I still land on Epicenter. All joking aside, after the Bose position draw, you hear a guy, they asked Steve Asmussen, are you surprised that he wasn't made the morning line favorite for the race?
I was.
And his response was, I'll be shocked if he gets beat. Everything else I have nothing to do with. And for a guy like Steve to say something like that, it's hard to ignore. You're talking about a guy who's won how many races? You know, he's won literally every other race.
Leading trainer of all time,
Yeah, I mean, the horse is working strong. He looks good out on the track. There's a whole group of horses in this race. As I said, there's 14, 15 horses that if they won, you look at it and say, okay, it makes sense.
Yep.
You know, so I'm going to live and die by the sword. I am genuinely going to land on Epicenter. And I think simplification, if he puts a couple of things
guy.
Listen,
Well, hey.
I drank the Kool-Aid long enough.
There's only 2 horses in the race. This year, there's only two horses in the race.
There are. I mean, what else matters?
Hey, he asked Alessandro, he said, who are you most scared of in the Derby? And he said
no one.
He said, I say this as humbly as possible, but no one, He said, I'm not scared of anybody.
You know, here I see it on social media all the time. You hear people complaining like, oh, my horse is doing the best he's ever done. And they're like, oh, there's no way that's possible. The fact of the matter is you've got 23-year-olds that are the best in their crop at this point in time that got themselves here.
Yeah.
They did something right.
Right.
Like, something had to go right, you know. So I think it's disingenuous for people to say, you know, there's no way that the horse is doing that great. Like, someone's got to be real and say he's not doing good.
Yep.
I mean, come on. They're here. They're working good. Okay. I will say.
Here it is. Here it is.
No.
Take a sip of this first. Summon some courage here.
That's right.
No, I think you got, I don't know, Crown Pride.
Wow, really?
Okay, give us the details because obviously this is the horse. I'll use the word again. Enigma coming over.
Yep.
You know, they're doing the old school. You know, trying to get the horse nice and supple, putting in the dressage moves like they did with Seattle Slew. What do you think? Inbred is Sunday Silence.
Yep. So one of the things I like about that is they're working the absolute tail off this horse. I mean, what's he worked 5 times in 3 weeks? I mean, it's some crazy. He worked 46 and 3 on Wednesday. But they're going back to the basics, and they're making sure he's moving right, and that really helps with a horse going into a race like this, that he's feeling good, you know.
He's scared of him.
See.
He's scared of him.
No,
I see the fear.
I think he's legit. I mean, I don't know if the numbers are going to match up because it's hard. You know, these international races are hard to gauge. But I'll tell you something. The Japanese have been powerful players on the world stage.
Dubai, Saudi Arabia.
I find it hard to believe that they can't figure it out here in Kentucky. I don't know that he wins, but I'll tell you this. He's another. I wouldn't be shocked. I think 20-1 is
very tempting.
I think it's fair. I think it's tempting.
Yeah. We actually have. You know what we could do here? We do have the live odds. Now, we haven't seen these live odds, so we can do actually a real-time reaction to some of these live odds in tomorrow's Kentucky Derby.
Let's see how far off the mark I am
let's go ahead and take a look at some of these live odds. We're pulling them up here momentarily. All right, so here we are.
Okay, what we got?
Mo Donegal, by the way, no one's worried about that one post. He is currently 7-1, bet down slightly from the morning line.
I think the new starting gate helps.
Yes.
I think that's a huge help.
Yes.
I think that makes the one post less of a death sentence than it was, say, 3 years ago.
So Epicenter, let's say, we haven't fully streamed it. There we go. So just so people know what we're looking at here. So there's Mo Donegal at the top. Epicenter, 5-1 currently. You expect shorter than that by post time.
If he goes all 5-1.
Empty in the bank account.
If he doesn't win, I'm going home broke. Well, let me rephrase that. More broke than I already am.
Crown Pride, 17-1 currently.
Messier, 7-1. So
he is tempting at 7-1. I don't know. I mean, it's a curious situation, of course.
Crown Pride, the one we just talked about, Ren just mentioned, 17-1. So you are getting your price there.
Yeah, he's teetering into. I'd like to see him drift a little more.
Want him at 25
I would like him at 25 or 30.
Yeah.
That's just me being greedy. Charge It is the absolute wise guy.
I wanted this horse at 20-1. Charge It. I wanted Charge It at 20-1. Now he's at 12-1. Been bet down.
Okay, you're saying wise guy because everybody sees that he was super green there in the Florida Derby.
We're all seeing the same thing.
We're all hoping that he gets his you-know-what together and can pull it through on the big stage. And that's why he's the wise guy.
Oh, yeah, he's the wise guy. He's only run 3 times, only run once in Stakes Company. Legit horse.
He is.
I mean, absolutely a legitimate horse. But, you know, the Kentucky Derby in your 4th start with 1 win under your belt that's a tall order.
But again, and also like Taba, again, these horses have not been in anything. I mean, most of these horses haven't been in a set. None of them have been in a setting exactly like the Derby.
None of these horses will go through the fanfare, the pomp and circumstance that they will go through tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. Once is enough.
Once is enough.
It's hard on these horses. There's a lot to soak in, and they handle it so well. I mean, they really do. They walk over here and they get it. Oaks Day, they hear it going on back there. It probably warms them up.
Well, I mean, I should say they haven't gone through. Who knows? We may see a Breeders' Cup horse in here, and then they'll be in the giant crowd again.
What do we think of this? Zandon was installed as the morning line favorite, is now 8-1.
Zandon.
Sorry.
Zandon.
I can't believe he's drifted like that.
8-1. I mean, that's like, people don't even like the horse.
Look,
Messi is a shorter price.
I was shocked again. I'm so sorry, Mike Battaglia. I'm sorry, but
no, look, consensus that Mike Battaglia has nothing to apologize for. He owes nothing to the racing industry, but top to bottom was not a great morning line. We can all agree on that.
So we can say,
Yeah.
Because all due respect, but
He's a legend. He's spectacular.
Absolutely.
But sometimes, I mean, legends make morning lines that are not great.
I was
so
just
it happens.
shocked by it.
Zandon put it together in his last start.
Yeah. You have questions about him.
I do. I'll say this. I'm going to try and beat, like, if I'm on Epicenter, I'm trying to beat Zandon.
Yeah.
I think he's a talented horse. I think we're going to be hearing from him.
Well,
I'm not, as I said, he could win the Derby, no doubt. But I'll be playing against 8-1 is a tantalizing price on him, though, undoubtedly.
I mean, well, if you like the price you saw earlier, what do you think about this price?
That's ridiculous.
41-1 on simplification.
That's stupid. I'm sorry.
People are cold on the Florida Derby. I mean, that is what it is. They're cold. White Bar. When was the last time the Florida Derby winner went off 11-1?
Yeah.
I mean, I think people are just kind of skeptical of the race in general. I don't know. I dismiss the Florida Derby at your own risk. It's. I'd say there's a different race that I'd probably dismiss a different Derby prep race before I dismiss the Florida Derby.
Go ahead, don't be coy.
Well, no, I think the Arkansas Derby is the one I dismiss of the bunch.
Meanwhile, the runner-up from that race is 41-1. Same, and meanwhile, this horse hasn't won a race in how long?
I just don't know that those horses put it together now. I think we'll hear from them down the road, but I just don't know. It's weird. We're sitting here talking about the Louisiana prep races being more important than Arkansas this year. I mean, when was the last time that happened?
Yeah.
I mean, Arkansas has always been
absolutely. That's the style.
And everyone's kind of had a side eye towards Louisiana, but you've got some serious horses come out of there the last couple of years.
Now, right here, all the horses that we're talking between those two races, Florida Derby, even Classic Causeway in the mix, but these horses, Simplification, White Barrio, Florida Derby, Barber Road, Cyberknife, coming out of the Arkansas Derby. Cyberknife, I think a lot of people would agree with you now, is 15-1. I mean, that's the Arkansas Derby winner at 15-1. That's unbelievable.
I think out of the Arkansas Derby, I take Secret Oath out of that race.
Okay.
Today, I think she's a phenomenal filly. I worry that she ran too good to get beat in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I just worry first off that the balance is a real concern there.
Yeah.
She ran too good to get beat. It's one of those, like, I hate to say it, Rachel's Woodward.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder because, man, she ran unbelievable down there. She really did.
Oh, yeah. She had her eyeballs out.
Oh, she's a phenomenal filly.
Yeah.
I hope she can put it together, and it'd be cool as hell to see the coach do it.
It would. Just rounding out the field here, Classic Causeway and Tawny Port, both at 69-1. Zozos at 38-1, a lower price than some of the other horses.
This is the horse that just sort of flies under my radar. I don't know why.
You like this horse a little bit, Zozos?
I do. I mean, there's a pool that I bought Zozos in.
Okay.
I think I think he's absolutely a threat.
Okay.
And I think you're getting a price on him that you have to use him.
Yep.
I think if you don't win these tries, supers, pick fives, pick sixes without playing horses like that.
I can make one guarantee here, and you say, how could you guarantee this? I could guarantee it. I would put anything on it. The top four choices when the gates open will not finish 1 through 4. We know that. I can confidently say that in the modern era that has never happened.
Oh, I think the Derby is
it probably never will happen.
No, it's a fabulous time to play the Super.
It absolutely play the superfecta. And again, at these prices, if you like a horse like Zozos, we talked about what TwinSpires is offering right now. You bet a horse to win. You get your money back if they finish second or third. I would bet the horse win, play, show. And if the horse finishes second or third, you're getting your play, show money, and you're getting your win money back. I mean, you can't lose.
No.
It's one of those. You've got a horse like Zozos. You've got a horse like Charge It. They kind of fall in that category of, I mean, hell, even Smile Happy, the same thing.
Yep.
Where they're lightly raced, but they still have enough. Charge It maybe doesn't fall in this category, but I do think the other horses, they have enough racing underneath them that this could be when they put it together, and this could be when they burn me. And it wouldn't be the first year that I've gotten burned. You know, we get cued every year. You try to beat Chrome, you try to beat Justify, you try to beat Pharaoh, you try to beat these obvious horses. To me, Maximum Security that year was the obvious one. He was just faster than everyone else that year. But this year,
there isn't a standout like that, right? I
mean,
I know you're going to say Epicenter, maybe.
No, I'm not. I mean, because if you look at it on paper, the numbers don't say that anyone really is head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah.
You've got a horse like Taiba.
Who could be.
Taiba.
Better.
Come
I'm
on,
sorry.
people.
I apologize, Amr. I
She's
apologize.
always going to crack the whip on it.
I'm going to. Frank Taylor and Joe and Amr, they're going to kill me. No, but that's a horse that I don't know that he does it tomorrow. But whatever happens tomorrow, I really hope he gets a clean trip. Because that's a horse that we're going to hear about for the next 2 years.
I mean, you don't open your career with, the kinds of numbers he's opened his career with and then just suddenly, I mean, it's happened occasionally, but it's rare. This is a horse who could potentially, if he stays healthy and if he's campaigned, appropriately, could turn out to be literally one of the all-time greats. I mean, it's based on what he's done in 2 races.
Yeah. I mean, that horse has he's been phenomenal in both of his races. And not for nothing, but Mike Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't ignore him. I mean, it's a big weekend. Money Mike. I mean, I
love the horse. I do. And I was talking to this, I was making this point yesterday when we did our Derby show. A lot of people say, well, okay, a horse coming in on, winning the Derby in his 3rd start. I mean, come on, right?
Yeah.
But why not? This, again, is not like these 3-year-olds here in the Derby are not like the 3-year-olds of the 80s or, past generations, even as recently as the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. I mean, these horses are all relatively, for the most part, lightly raced. And then also you have the point system having changed sort of the pace dynamic of who wins the race anyway. So it's a different animal, I think, altogether. So that's why I think you can see a horse like Justify break the so-called curse of Apollo. You can see, and then go on to win the Triple Crown. And so I think it's impossible for a horse to win the Derby in his 3rd career start.
The game has changed in that sense, where like the same sort of standards that applied 50, 60 years ago don't anymore. I mean, it's a different game. You could talk about it more than anything in terms of the way breeding it goes. I mean, that's it's all about winning these races.
I think what these trainers at the top end of the game have done, they train aggressively. These horses are fit. If you think about any sport, right? You practice harder in high school than you did in middle school than you did in lower league, little league, right? You train different in college versus the pros. These guys, your Brad Coxes, your Todd Pletchers, your Chad Browns, those horses are pushed to get fit and they're faster. There's a lot of, they're
trying to choose words carefully here.
I love that he's composed.
This is great,
I'm trying to say, they're not afraid to get a horse fit. You can't be afraid. These are, if you want your horse to compete at the top level, they have to be pushed, right? You didn't get drafted in the 1st round of the draft because you took it easy in practice every day. It's because you went out there and worked hard. But there's a way to do it, and what they've done, they've really gotten good at getting these horses not just able to peak. Where Pletcher was getting all these horses to the Derby for years was he was getting them to peak in the Florida Derby and the Arkansas Derby and the Wood Memorial. They were peaking then. But now all of a sudden these guys are winning those races because they're able to get them to peak again 6 weeks later, right? Because it's a management. They're training. just as hard but differently. I think the timing of the races is separated out, whereas they used to run every 3 weeks. Now it's every 6 weeks.
Yep.
You know.
What we're going to do is we're going to do one quick run through the horses in the Derby. We're going to show the current odds, what you're looking at here on the right side of your screen, the current odds. Then we're going to bring in our next guest, our final guest. We're going to finally let you tap out. You've dropped a wealth of knowledge on us on both of these races and on the sport in general. So as we let you go, again, thank you for doing this. Are you going to be on record with are you going Epicenter?
I think I'm going to go Epicenter. I have to go Epicenter there. But listen, as I said, Epicenter.
Epicenter.
All
right. He's
That's
on record with Liam Benson, folks. Liam, thank you so much for spending some time with us, my man. Absolutely.
Friend.
There you go. Give her a hug. We're doing hugs. We're doing hugs.
Guy.
All right, and you're going to tag in that guy. He comes in after you, right there. Tom Law. So Tom Law.
This guy
coming in to close it out with us.
Stop.
Be careful with the chair, by the way. It's a little wacky, so be careful.
Don't get electrocuted. We have standing water here.
Yeah. We don't.
Now
need
we're afraid I can't get out of the chair.
I know,
Lord
it's tight.
of mercy,
It's
what
tight.
have I done?
And don't forget your claw right there.
Oh,
Don't want to leave that behind.
Take care.
Thank you,
Liam. So Liam Benson here.
Wonderful,
wonderful.
Tom is somebody who would be great also to talk about the fact about like just the way in which, historically the Derby, and as I was saying, as recently, not just in the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s, but going back, and then again, as recently as then, we did have the horses train in and run more than they do now.
Yep. We're looking at the odds right now on the right side of your screen. Mo Donegal 7-1, bet down slightly. It's good that Tom is sitting with us at the moment because he could actually take a look at some of these live odds. I want a quick reaction on this. Mo Donegal taking some money, 7-1. Again, people apparently not concerned about that post. If he takes more money, that will be interesting. Happy Jack taking, I think, probably more money than I expected. 22-1 off a third place finish in the Santa Anita Derby. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's right.
Epicenter,
That's short.
5-1. Summer is tomorrow, 45-1. So that price still fairly large. And Smile Happy, 14-1, taking a bit of action. Messier 7-1, your runner-up in the Santa Anita Derby. Crown Pride, the Japanese horse, everyone's been talking about him.
Pass.
He's still a pretty good price at 17-1.
No shot.
Charge It, the runner-up in the Florida Derby, 12-1. Tis the Bomb, your Jeff Ruby Stakes Stakes winner, 24-1. Maybe taking a little more money than I expected.
Yeah.
Zandon, though, drifting up to 8-1
My
off
pick.
of morning
That's
line
juicy
pick.
price.
So go ahead. You should lock in fixed odds right now. 8-1 if you could get it. Pioneer Medina 55-1. Ren,
Yes.
this horse's name?
Taba.
6-1. Simplification 41-1. We thought this number
Nice
jumped out
price.
at us. Nice
price.
Barber Road 41-1. I think about what we expected.
Too short.
White of Barrio 11-1. Again, the Florida
Too
Derby
short.
winner 11-1. Cyberknife 15-1.
I like him.
Interested, Classic Causeway, 69-1, no jokes. Tony Port, 69-1, no jokes. Zozos, 38-1, which I thought was like, I didn't think he'd be this short, but Liam actually likes Zozos.
Yeah.
And Rich Strike, the horse who drew into the race today when Ethereal Road scratched, now 99-1. So those are your live odds for the Kentucky Derby. So which one of these horses stands out to you here?
8-1 on the morning line favorite.
You want Zandon.
It's early money, so it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Taba 6-1 seems fair. Epicenter seems fair. What you said. Cyberknife taking a little bit of money, right? Was
Yep.
he 15?
I don't know. I thought he would be shorter than this.
He was
15
20
to
on
1.
the line.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But Charge It is probably the biggest movers. Charge It at 12 to 1.
Simplification. He was kind of a.
That's a big move down there for that horse.
Messier 7-1. About what you'd see. It's about like what everybody says. There's not a super standout horse that's going to take a lot of money this year. Drive it down to 2-3 to 1. Great betting race, right? Take your pick.
There's a different betting race coming up right now in 13 minutes to Kentucky Oaks.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot, and I want to get your take on the Kentucky Oaks. Before we do, though, we've talked a lot about a couple of horses. We talked about Echo Zulu. The favorite in this race on the morning line, and currently still is Nest. Want to show people again why everyone is hot on Nest. It was her win in the Ashland. Let's take a look at how she did it.
Awake at Midnight is in third. Nest is the leader. Nest has the lead by 4 lengths clear in the Central Bank Ashland Stakes. The battle is all for second. Cocktail Moments is running after Interstate Daydream for the runner-up spot, but Nest much the best here with Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard. Close for second, either Cocktail Moments or Interstate Daydreams. Further back, Awake at Midnight was fourth in 1 minute 44.46 seconds.
All right. I mean, look. Are there words, and do we need to actually put words to that? You saw that. That was dominance.
Yeah.
Is she beatable?
Of course.
Okay.
Everybody's beatable.
But all things being equal,
if she duplicates that effort, tall order, I think.
Okay.
By Curlin, the mile and 8 is perfect for her. It's going to suit her ideally. I mean, she's had the 2 preps.
Mm-hmm.
It's what Todd likes to do. 2 blowout wins. Deserving favorite, and Fletcher looking for another Kentucky Oaks win. I mean, she's already proven at the mile and 8, and here she goes. I mean, but it's racing, so she's got to get the clean trip. It's a big field. I took a stand. I bet against her. I bet the 7.
I know you like Echo Zulu.
I'm an Echo Zulu guy. I'm a speed guy. I mean, controlling speed, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen, right? What you see is what you get. Versus a closer.
Mm-hmm.
Although, Nest, doing what she did at Keeneland, impressive to come from off the pace there, especially with that mile and 16 short stretch.
Yep.
And to draw off the way she did, makes her, real, like we said, very deserving favorite.
Ren,
Yes.
Secret Oath, who you like a lot, is
Yes.
4-1, so did take a little money off
That to me is
that
generous.
money line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that
Is
all
that
day
your bet?
for
Are you
one
betting
card.
Secret Oath?
Yeah, I have her as one of my horses in my Oaks Derby double.
Okay. So Oaks Derby double. If you're going to do the TwinSpires, essentially risk-free, if you could hit the board, get your money back for second and third.
Yeah, gotta get in for that.
Who would you use here at a little bit of a price? I mean, for me, I've been on record, Nostalgic at 16-1. I'll take Nostalgic.
I blindly go with that because my husband also Nostalgic, and so I'll take it blindly between Matt and you. That would be a great,
Got to be a good sign.
a horse to use in for that promotion.
All right. Well, I'm going right now. I'm betting on my phone. So,
Nice.
Tom, say
I would
something
use
else.
Hidden Connection for that wager.
You would use Hidden Connection. What is Hidden Connection at right now?
Good value. She's a 3 in here.
23-1.
Right?
Get out of here! Are you
If
serious?
you like Echo
Yeah.
Zulu, I mean, this horse lost
Well,
by
I
a
do.
nose.
I like Echo Zulu, yeah.
To Hidden Connection. You
gotta
gotta make
How
that
can you
back.
not, especially at that price?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, has won here. Raylu Gutierrez is killing it
He's
here.
hot. The boy is hot right now. He is hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is
Yep.
hot.
Well, I saw him eating pizza in some little video that he did the other day. He was
Oh, he did.
Sort
He
of
did a
doing
pizza
takeoff
review.
of
Just burns it right off. I mean, so fit.
Well, that's
you
what
know?
I'm saying. I thought I was watching that and I was just like, well, dang. I thought like Lafitte and Kai, there's a legendary story of him eating a peanut.
Yeah, half a peanut.
Half a peanut.
That's so funny.
That's a Wayne Lucas story.
Yeah,
He loves telling that story.
And here Ray Lou is just chowing on a slice of pepperoni, and I'm like,
Yeah,
hey.
you know that's confidence right there.
I
He
guess
doesn't-
so.
He knows what his metabolism's like. He knows he's gonna do well in this race. I do like Hidden Connection at that price. Hidden Connection, the 3 horses, 22-1. Tom, could you run through just real quick as I make this bet the odds of every single horse in the Oaks, which is coming up in about 8 minutes?
Sure. Yeah, the 1 is Secret Oath. She's 4-1. The 2, Nostalgic, she's 16-1. The 3, Hidden Connection, we just mentioned, 22-1. The 4 is Nest, 2-1 favorite. 5, Goddess of Fire, is 31-1.
I like that horse a little bit.
Yuguri, the 6,
a little-
Yogiri. I don't know if I pronounced it right.
A little flair there.
I'm trying to add a little. She's the 6. She's 38-1. The 7, Echo Zulu. The cinch in here, 7-2. The 8, New York bred Venti Valentine at huge, great value, 33-1.
Who, by the way, we are shooting a live video with her owners right now. So selfishly, if Venti Valentine wins, we're going to have one of the greatest videos of all time of them celebrating.
I wrote a story about them today, in fact,
there you
for the New York Thoroughbred Breeders.
So for all of us, for our editorial careers, this would be wonderful.
Exactly. And the 9, Desert Dawn, 46-1.
Okay.
The 10, Kathleen O, 4-1. The 11, Cocktail Moments, which maybe you guys are into that a little bit, is the 11. She's 47-1. The 12, Candy Raid, is 48-1. The 13, Shahama at 15. And the 14, Turner Loose, is 52-1. Of course, 15 is scratched. It was also eligible.
Yeah. It's funny, the 14 Turner Loose is a horse. Is kind of a bit of a buzz horse, so I'm surprised the price is that high.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything on paper that made me love Turner Loose, so I stayed away. Shahamo is another buzz horse, but is still at a pretty fat price, 15-1.
Can I tell you real quick? Just from a pedigree standpoint, anytime going forward you guys are wagering, I'm not talking necessarily in this race, but Turner Loose, Nyquist over AP&D. Nyquist over anything AP&D, whether it's AP&D himself, one of his sons or grandsons, is like, it clicks.
This is Turner Loose.
Right.
So from a pedigree standpoint, you're saying 50-something to 1.
No. From pedigree standpoint, I'm saying she's just another example of that cross just clicking. So going forward, anytime you see that, we got Saratoga coming up.
Yep.
You know, all these different things.
2-year-old races.
You mean, like, look at that.
For today, you're getting in? You're getting in on her or no?
Not on Turner Loose.
Not today.
Not
it's a
today.
Good price.
I'm a Secret Oath girl.
Secret Oath. So
Nest.
I want to be a Secret Oath fan. I just felt like she's just so much buzz down at Oaklawn this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone latched onto it, the Wayne Lucas story, and I'm just like, are people? That's my doubt. Is everyone getting a little carried away with her? I don't know. They're rooting for the king, the chief, to kind of not the chief, the coach to kind of do it again and get back on the stage. I mean, I love the rider switch. I mean, Luis Saez.
Yeah. That's a big upgrade.
We saw it earlier today with Saez riding.
It's a big upgrade. It's a big upgrade.
You got to look at that kind of stuff when you're handicapping. I mean, some of these guys, big money guys, they fit certain horses. I mean, I do think Luis is going to fit this horse pretty well. So, you know, the one hole doesn't matter. You know, in the 9 furlongs here, it's a good honest.
I just thought she showed so much heart. Like, when we talk about a horse being tested or not tested, she was tested there in the Arkansas Derby.
Yeah.
As I already went over earlier, just a few strides out of the gate, you know, being crossed over in front of, having to take up a bit, and then that move, you know, too soon, flattening out in the stretch there, but she still dug in against those boys. I just felt it was very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to knock her. She's won here, right? She's run here multiple times, so, you know, obviously on familiar ground. And, you know, Wayne, what are you going to say? I mean,
are you
the king.
Are you just betting this horse to win?
That's all I did. I bet Echo Zulu to win.
Are you worried about
I played a few gimmicks and stuff earlier, and I hit.
Venti?
But
are you worried about Venti, or are you Geary getting up and, like, trying to take some starch out of her?
Maybe. I mean, Venti Valentine, you know, it's funny. How about the weather forecasters getting it wrong, huh? I mean, geez, Louise.
For real.
As a public handicapper, I get knocked all the time.
We can't do
I'm
any
not
worse
as wrong
right now.
as these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know, they did say 90%, so there is 10% chance that it's not going to rain. Well, that's where it came in. You know, that's the mind that bird. I mean,
nobody ever questions my selection.
Just briefly to react to some of we're getting a lot of comments. We do appreciate, by the way,
just
everyone
good comments. I
in.
hope.
Are they knocking me?
Oh no, good comments. Good comments. Everyone's happy.
Be nice.
A lot of people watching the show right now. We thank you for joining us on Kentucky Oaks Live. We remind you that we are live again tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock Eastern for Kentucky Derby Live, presented by TwinSpires. They're wondering if we can actually show them the race. Unfortunately, due to the rights tied to the race and NBC's ownership, we can't show you the actual race. We're going to watch it and react to it here. But if you want to watch it on your television, you could turn on USA Network. It's being televised by the NBC Sports Company on USA, and the broadcast is there on the USA Network. And then tomorrow, you've got coverage again on NBC Sports and Peacock, beginning at 2:30 Eastern. So you're betting just to win. You're betting doubles with. So you don't want 4-1. You don't want win money. Is that not good enough for you?
I just can't get on my thing right
just
now.
Bet. Okay. Come on, bet. Try to bet.
In.
Get it.
It's hard for me to hold a mic and to do this at the same time.
I'll carry the show here for a little while.
Okay, you carry the here. Talk
freestyle.
Yeah, you can talk about. I was talking to Dan. I said, you know what, Tom will have great insight in this because I mean you're a bit of a historian when it comes to racing. I mean, the way the horses are coming into the Derby now is so different. They're so much more lightly raced than I was saying. Historically with the Derby period, but even as recently as the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, it's changed dramatically.
Oh, and just in my short time, I mean, in the grand scheme of the world, my short time covering it, I mean, I covered my first Derby in '98. You know, I used to have horses 3-4 prep races, maybe, or 3, 4, or 5 races already before the Derby. Certainly with a large 2-year-old campaign, horses would run in the spring. they'd run maybe a couple times at Saratoga, a couple times in the fall, try to get to the Breeders' Cup. They'd have sort of that foundation before they got here to Churchill to run in the Derby. You know, and closer together. You know, races would be, the Bluegrass was 2 weeks out. You know, then it was 3 weeks out. Now it's 4 weeks out. You know, the Wood Memorial, the Bluegrass, Arkansas Derby now is 5 weeks out. And the Oaks is no different.
Right.
You know, all the horses are trained the same way. You know, I think a lot of horsemen realize that horses do better with a little bit more rest in between starts. So they perform at a high level in between starts. Not much different than human athletes. You know, like they're rested. You know, like, and you look at the NFL or other major sports. When guys have a little bit of rest, they're going to be able to perform at an optimum level. And when you're talking about major races like this, you want your horses to be at their absolute best to try to win them. These races have become so valuable. I mean, it's a $1.25 million purse.
Yep.
But it carries a lot more weight than that. You know,
But for me, like,
have Kentucky Oaks or Kentucky Derby winner next to the horse's name.
And
Absolutely.
the other part of that equation is the fact is not only has it changed from how many starts you generally have these horses coming into the races with, but also the point system then on top of it, and this is what I was talking about earlier as well, is that's changed the pace dynamic.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the days of Trinneberg and Song and a Prayer.
Trinneberg is so like the horse we go back
horses
to.
that just are straight gas on the lead, you know, like taking the field, you know, honor and glory, taking the field
Oh, yes.
I love
45 and change
that
to the
made
half.
it like more of a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, is this horse going to do that? Okay, and if so, how does it play out?
Yeah.
I like that puzzle.
Yeah, it's made it more formful. I mean, I think you used to see the days when it was so hard to get the favorite to win the race, you know, and Fusiichi Pegasus won it, and everybody was like, "Whoa, he's a favorite! He finally won!"
Yeah.
You know, and then it was another little break, you know, before you had that again.
Yep.
And now the graded earnings have really, or the great, you know, the points versus the graded earnings has just made it real formful. You're kind of weeding out the chaff, and you're getting the top quality horses running in the race.
So
yeah,
speaking
they're going
of
to the
top
gate
quality,
right now.
they're now going into the gate for the Kentucky Oaks. We are going to watch this race here live from Churchill Downs. We are going to relay to you what we're seeing. We're going to react to it in real time.
Hit that mute button on the NBC, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you supposed to say that or no?
Well, I don't know. I mean, as long as you're watching, it still counts, I guess, toward their rating. So, anyhow, we're going to try to do the best we can to kind of narrate here what's happening once the gate opens. Take a look at this. I mean, you know, we'll see. I mean, the break is very important. We all expect Echo Zulu to go out to the front. Ugiri, or how you want to do the roll an R?
Ugiri.
Ugiri. So here you can hear the noise around us now as the horse is prepared to leave from the gate for the Kentucky Oaks.
148th Oats, they're off.
And they're off. So,
like we expected. Echo Zulu.
Echo Zulu.
Right to the front.
On
with
the lead.
Ugiri.
Ugiri.
Nancy Valentine sitting a pocket trip right behind him.
So
with the three.
Ugiri is not letting Echo Zulu have this lead easily.
Well, it's her only shot is to go to the lead, Ugiri.
Yeah.
Did I do it
They're
okay?
opening up. They're opening up a little bit. I mean,
They are.
Oh, she just went. What just happened to her? She just went.
These chiclets are not right? So that's 6'7". They have 6'8" listed here. So it is 6'7".
Yeah.
Okay.
Did it look to you that Echo went
came
wide into the turn?
Came a couple paths off the fence
that was
there.
a bit strange. I don't know if that was
22 and 2 to the quarter.
That's a very, very fast quarter.
Yes.
Yeah, they're cooking.
So they are absolutely just going as fast as they can on the front end. Echo Zulu is about a length off of
46 and 2.
Ugiri right now, 46 and 2. Slowed it down a touch, but still very, very fast for this distance.
You see Nest sliding up the inside, getting that nice trip down on the inside.
But
oh
Nest
my
is
gosh,
being
if
asked
Ness
a little
wins,
bit.
Rapoli's going to have a party like.
So Ness, I thought she was being asked there for a while and wasn't responding. She is now.
So now you'd think Ugiri's going to throw the anchor.
Oh, who is this on the outside?
Secret
Oath.
Oath.
Making
Secret
a big
Oath.
move.
Come on, girl.
Floating to the lead, Secret Oath. But Echo Zulu is still going. Kathleen O, who we didn't talk much about, now making a move from the back of the pack.
Come on, Secret Oath. Come on.
This is a matchup between you guys.
Come
Echo
on.
Zulu versus Secret Oath.
Yeah, the one's moving pretty well. Secret Oath.
Secret
got
Oath
it.
looks like she may get there.
She looks nice here.
Secret Oath
Yep.
will probably get there.
Slam the door.
Echo Zulu trying to hold on for second. Nest making a belated move between horses there. Nest may get second over Echo
Like
Zulu.
Desert Dawn.
Desert Dawn to round out a huge trifecta. Very nice
I
call.
did get my bet in. I got my bet in in
I
time.
told you to just stop and
I
bet.
got my bet in time.
Very
you know,
nice call
can
by
I tell
Rick.
you another
Nice
thing?
pick.
I thank you so much. But also, I I just go with what my gut instinct tells me regarding a horse.
Yeah.
When you have a filly, I don't care, people can talk about whether or not the Arkansas Derby is strong, not strong. Anytime you put a filly in against males in a graded stakes race, and she goes through what she went through in that race and still digs in, as I said before, you cannot train that into a horse. They either have that type of heart or they do not. They either love to run and throw it down or they don't.
Yeah.
This filly showed that, and I still remember before the Arkansas Derby was even run, Gary Stevens, there was a quote from him in some article that he basically mentioned her in the same breath as Winning Colors.
Okay.
Anytime somebody of his expertise would say anything like that about a horse that he obviously has a deep, profound connection to, he's not going to just say that.
Yeah.
So Secret Oath, that was, again,
was
the
nice.
Craziest morning line I have ever seen in my life for her being 6-1.
Yeah.
What did she end up going off? Because I didn't see the odds.
I think 4-1. I think you got 4-1 on
Nice.
that. Which
Nice
is a
price.
very, very
Yeah,
nice
good
price,
price.
without a doubt. Yeah, you
Hey,
got
here I am
4-1.
slagging the pick, like going
I
on
know.
and on.
Look, you look really.
I help your price. Everybody listen to
Greg,
me.
are we
I help
tight
your
on
price.
Ren?
No,
Are we tight on Ren? Let's go tight on Ren for a second.
Why?
Because
No, don't go tight on me.
Once we're tight on Ren,
Did you get her while she was watching?
I want
She
her
was
to look
into
at the
it.
camera and just be like, I just crushed the Kentucky Oaks.
Whipping
I
and driving.
just crushed the Kentucky Oaks.
There
And
you
I
go.
did it while wearing, this is a centerpiece that I took out of a centerpiece right here and I put it in my hair.
From dinner last night or what?
No, from my event earlier today. I didn't have a fascinator because it was raining today and I wasn't going to buy something expensive and have it get, in the deluge of rain that I was anticipating. So once that didn't happen, I was like, hey, here's a flower. I'll just pop it in my
There you
hair.
go.
Well, you did better than the weather forecasters. I mean,
Well,
you nailed it.
you know what? I just outthink everybody.
I want
You're
to say
sharp. You're good.
A couple of other takeaways. Kathleen O, by the way, rallied to finish 5th. It
Good
looked
for
like
her.
she was in some
I
traffic.
love Shug.
Yeah, she was in some traffic. Echo Zulu ran a big race.
Yep.
I know she finished 4th. She could have easily held on for 2nd or 3rd if she had just gone a touch slower early. Secret Oath was the best horse on the day. Echo Zulu, though, ran a spectacular race. Desert Dawn?
Well, Santa Anita Oaks winner. I mean, think
upset,
about the class.
Upset that race. 5-horse field was the longest shot on the board that
Yep.
day. Comes back right now at 50-1 and finishes 3rd.
Huge race.
Desert Dawn now, deserving of some respect.
I think regarding the replay of this race, for people who are Echo Zulu fans, I do think you should go back and watch the start of the race going into the first turn. I thought it was odd, and I would have to watch the replay to see
She's going to dance
why.
on our graves now.
No, it's actually a compliment to her.
Okay.
I don't know why she went so wide into the turn.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something she did herself or if that's something that she was directed to do. Maybe there was some water there in the turn. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it gives her a bit of an excuse for
Yeah.
tiring a bit more in the stretch. She
Yeah.
lost a lot of ground going into that first turn.
And she also went really fast.
Comes back
Yes.
in 5 weeks and runs
Yes.
lights out in the Acorn.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I mean,
that always seemed like the logical thing. If she loses
it
the
does,
Oaks,
yep.
you come back, you shorten up to 1 turn.
I'm so happy for D. Wayne Lucas. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
Evan
Come
Lucas,
on.
absolutely. By the way, Nest was interesting. I got to go back and watch the race. Every time I looked at Nest, she was under a heavy ride, wasn't really doing anything. And then late again, she kind of came on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what to
Slipped
make
up
of that.
into a nice spot, kind of mid-pack.
Yeah.
You know, Irad just kind of moved her right up in there, got into position. Yeah, and then
she might need
but
like a
then
mile
really
and a
started
half.
had to
Could we
encourage
could
her.
send her to the Belmont?
Well,
There you go.
that option's
think?
out there.
I mean, she might need a mile and a half. Like, you see the way she was going late?
Well,
it was,
her broodmare sire won the Belmont. Why not? Let's try it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Curlin won it and AP Indy won it.
Oh, yeah, both.
Yeah. And congrats to Team Rapoli, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's Rapoli, right?
And he won 2 editions of the Jockey Club Gold Cup.
That's right. Curlin.
Curlin.
Yep. AP Indy won a Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yeah.
So the result of the Kentucky Oaks about, we think, to go official.
What about the pedigree of Secret Oath? I mean, beautiful pedigree too.
Oh my gosh, Arrogate.
Out of a
What did
quiet
I say?
American mare.
Yes.
I mean, you got the
Quiet
stamina on top and the long galloping mount a quarter type horse with the quiet American at miler speed.
See, I love it. I could talk to Tom all
bang.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
flexing. He's flexing now.
Quiet American. I mean, he was a phenomenal racehorse. I mean,
Do you roll the R on Quiet American?
No. Only Yugiri.
American. Do you know, though, it's kind of bittersweet, though, too, because Arrogate, obviously, you know, we lost him not too long ago. And to first crop, right?
Right.
Representative here in Secret Oath. So who knows what may have been. What a classy filly she is, though.
I had doubts, and I'm a believer now. I mean, and then we talked about Saez taking over. I mean, you want to talk about a decisive move that he makes? I mean, watch this replay. He goes for it around the turn.
Oh my God!
Not waiting until the end.
The second she loomed up like 4 wide, I'm like,
right
she looks so loaded.
I guess part of the reason though I'm so obsessed with bringing it up constantly about the beginning of that race is because I remember right after the Arkansas Derby was run, and somebody was like, "Oh, it wasn't anything bad that happened on the gate." I went back and I like screenshot it in slow motion. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And like I posted it. And you could just see how she had to take up it, like got her legs all tangled up trying to get out there, because Cyberknife, being kind of green, had like crossed off in front of her.
Yeah.
Ren, what's this? Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Say Arkansas Derby. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah.
Cyberknife,
Better
Barber
move up
Road.
Barber Road, Cyberknife.
Then we got to move them up a couple pegs.
I will say Matt is going, I believe, with Cyberknife.
Yeah.
I like so. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I can't touch Cyberknife. Otherwise, the horse will finish last. like the horse we both selected together today. Secret Oath pays $10.80 to win. So your $1,000 bet returns.
I'm sorry, I just hear you right now.
500 times 1080.
Yeah, do the math. Did you bet $10,000?
No, I didn't bet $10,000.
$5,000.
No.
$1,000.
No, I bet enough.
No, you don't have to say the amount. You don't have to say the amount.
It was definitely not a $2 bet. I'll say that.
There you go. You had the winner,
yes.
and everyone watching, if they were listening to the three of us, knew that you were right, and they were like, "We're going to follow Ren." So they had the winner too. I'm waiting for the.
I've been pretty okay on these two
shows. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're doing your homework. You're not trying to come on here with some bad picks. So.
You can just come from like Waffle House and just drop on the set.
Exactly.
I mean, you're getting it done, right?
My experiences at Waffle House have not been good.
Man, well, maybe you'll go later. I mean, it's a late night, right?
It's like that joke from the correspondence. It all depends what time you go. So,
okay.
So 149 is your order of finish if you played trifectas. 1497 superfectas. I was actually hoping Akazulu held on for third. I would have hit the try. I wouldn't have paid much.
Yeah.
But you had Sacred Oath first. You had Nest second. And then the long shot, Desert Dawn 50-1. I wonder what this trifecta is going to pay. I'm really interested in it, even though I didn't hit it. For folks watching here on this TwinSpires show, we just had somebody walk through our show, but it's live. It's live streaming. This is what happens.
Did you?
I'm amazed it's the first time that's happened.
Actually,
I'm absolutely amazed.
No, I'm not amazed. Look, he had the guy had like this much space to walk through to come through in front of the camera, which whatever. But you know what's funny? If you watch our show, because
people are the best.
I saw because I wanted to listen to some of the interviews we did yesterday.
Yeah.
So I was watching the show back, and at about the 9-minute mark, you have to watch back. There's this guy who comes back behind us as we're talking.
Oh, does he?
And he's like drunk, and he's like,
yeah, he's a little wobbly. Wobbly.
And then he I know that never happens here.
A little wobbly. So the
Kentucky,
Kentucky
in the infield.
The Kentucky Oaks is the appetizer, right? The main course is the Kentucky Derby
no.
tomorrow.
No.
Well, for you, it might be everything. It might be all. It might be dessert as well.
I thought the Oaks this year was as good as the Derby.
Yeah, but there's money to be won.
I feel like we've got
there is more money to be won tomorrow. So look, as far as I'm concerned,
you're right from that point.
I'm okay missing out on the 4-1 and 2-1 shot.
It's like Christmas, like say Christmas or even Thanksgiving. Christmas Eve is just as big as Christmas in a lot of families.
Is drop a winner in your lap.
Oh, look at that.
And you can either take it or not take it.
Like she could have done a mic drop, but she doesn't want to hurt our equipment, so she's doing a PP drop. So this is what we're gonna do. We're going to take a look at the live odds for the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. As a reminder, you can bet this race on TwinSpires, all sorts of promotions just this weekend. It's just like anything else. Like all the sports betting apps around Super Bowl, you sign up for them so you get the free money. Now's the time you get the free money from TwinSpires. You use promo code BET200.
Do you think somebody bet that guy to walk in front of our set?
Oh, maybe. It could be. It could be. Yeah, he looked like he was just on a mission.
There's this small gap to come through here. So there's no way he accidentally
you have the entire infield
so
to avoid going through.
You have some time to do your homework between now and tomorrow.
Yep.
But here are the current
How are you going to play it, Dan, for
live odds.
Who's your money back horse?
I mean, I need to reassess things after choosing a horse who finished, I'm pretty sure, last or second to last in the Oaks. I need to reassess where I'm at.
Okay.
So in the Derby, I have been on Charge It. I'm not going to lie to you. When I look at these odds right now,
Liam says
I'm not excited about 12-1.
He says Charge It's the smart guy horse or wise guy horse.
Yeah, I mean,
But I
clearly.
think he's legitimate. I don't think it's just a wise guy
Very
thing. I understand why people think he's the wise guy.
I'm a little upset at 12-1. I thought I was just wiser than everyone else. I didn't realize that there were many wise people out
Luis
there.
Saez trying to go the Oaks
Oh,
Derby.
my
Oh,
double,
that's
right.
right.
He did that.
He could do it. He could do it.
Yeah.
Looking at these odds again, Zandon 8-1 was your morning line favorite. Taba
Ooh, Taba got bet down in half.
6-1.
Yeah.
Shorter price than look. I wouldn't be surprised at this stage. I mean, who's going off favorite based on what we're seeing here? Who's going off
Probably
favorite?
Epicenter.
Epicenter at 5-1.
I think he will go off as favorite as well. Again, I mean,
Let's
we already
refresh
went over
this
it.
real quick, see if
I thought
anything
he should be the
changed.
morning line favorite.
Yeah. I agree.
Epicenter still 5-1. Messier 7-1. Charge at 12-1. Zandon 8-1. Taba 6-1. Simplification. Barbara Road still at 41-1.
Could see Taba second choice. Messier might slip in there, get a little bit more.
I wonder now, to your point, if Cyberknife and Barbara Road start taking a little more money based on the way Secret Oath just ran, finishing third to them. Now again, I don't know if now I'm like, oh, maybe they just wrapped up on Secret Oath and they let Barbara Road finish second.
I don't think they will because of that personally, and the reason I'll say that is I think you still have to factor in that she's a filly.
Yeah. That's fair. It's not apples to apples
right,
in that sense,
it's not.
right? It's like she took on the boys and beat them now.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I would say also, I mean, just from, it's weird. I want to like White Abarrio just from the state because he hasn't, as they say, he's done everything right.
Yeah.
And he seems to be a cool horse on top of it.
Florida Derby is just a great prep for the Derby.
Yes,
historically.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Historically, I don't know. I just can't jump on it.
11-1 is shorter than I would want. And I sort of look. My concern is White Abarrio, and I'll probably get into this in our show tomorrow. It starts at 1 o'clock Eastern. He's trained by a young trainer named Saffy Joseph Jr. For those of you who don't know, he's a very successful trainer at Gulfstream Park in Florida. He has
a great man bun.
He has a great man bun. He has shipped horses all over the country to run in big races. And he won one a couple of years back at a racetrack.
Math Wizard.
At the time called, what was it called?
Math Wizard.
Yeah,
50-1 in the Pennsylvania Derby.
But was it still like, what was, I'm forgetting what Parks was called before.
It was Parks at the time.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Park.
Philadelphia Park.
Keystone.
Was it still Philadelphia Park at the time?
No, it was Parks.
It was Parks. So it was Parks then. Anyway, so all that diversion for nothing. Yeah. So he ships this horse to Parks, wins with Math Wizard, brutally fast pace up front. The horse comes from off the pace and wins. That's just about the only time he's ever shipped a horse anywhere and won a race. And I have concerns about him shipping into the Kentucky Derby with this horse. I think he had a couple of horses today who didn't run especially well. He brings this horse in here at a short price, coming out of a race that people are questioning to begin with, almost getting beaten by a horse only making his third start in Charge It. I have a hard time getting excited about White Abarrio.
He beat Charge It on the square. I mean, he beat Simplification.
I mean, Charge It was weaving in and
classic.
out. Yeah.
It's gonna. It's maybe it's not gonna be a first timer this year. But you certainly don't have somebody like Bob Baffert in the race that's won it many times. D. Wayne Lucas, horse and scratch. Yeah. He's won it many times. Yeah. Todd Pletcher's won it before, but everybody else is going to be, whoa, this is going to be a new guy. Yep. I mean, Brad Cox has a couple in here. He's got last year's win.
So tell us in the comments who you like. Those are the current odds. Mo Donegal 7-1, Happy Jack 22-1, Epicenter 5-1, Summers Tomorrow 44-1, Smile Happy 14-1. Messier 7-1, Crown Pride 17-1, Charge It 12-1, Tis the Bomb 25-1, Zandon 8-1. That's the first half of the field. The second half, Pioneer of Medina 53-1, Taba 6-1, Simplification and Barber Road both 44-1, White Abarrio 11-1, Cyberknife 15-1, Classic Causeway 69-1. Tony Port bet down a drop from when we last checked, now 68-1. Zozos 39-1. Rich Strike.
Oh, look at you with the pun, by the way. Tawny Port bet down a drop.
I mean, I wasn't really even trying to, just kind of happen naturally. Well, those are the horses for the Kentucky.
I Ruby Port.
Rich Strike still holding strong at 99.
He's still holding strong, and I bet I would assume that a winning ticket, a $2 winning ticket on Tony Port, on Rich Strike,
more than 200,
would probably pay something around $350 at this
Our
point.
Kong level type
Oh,
payoff.
there you go.
Right?
It would be the greatest upset of all time. So we are ready to wrap up for Kentucky Oaks Live, presented by TwinSpires. First off, I got to say just a quick tribute to Ren, who's been running around doing a bunch of different things. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always, my friend. to do yesterday and today with you. I know tomorrow you're going to try to pop in maybe for a little segment.
Yeah, no, I have a window of time that I can like come join.
All right.
And I'll be wearing my fascinator tomorrow.
All right.
She's sharp, huh?
Oh, look at that! I mean, like you're not gonna lift another flower from somewhere and put it in your hair.
No.
Okay.
That's the move, though. That
I
brings
know.
you good luck.
Well, I actually even looked at Matt as I was doing. I was like, is it wrong that I'm pulling a flower out of the
Not at all.
centerpiece here? And then I looked at it as I pulled it out. I was like, nobody will be able to tell.
Very sustainable and like
Exactly.
reusing. Yeah.
I love that.
Trying to keep it fresh.
That's right.
Ren, thank you again for your time and for doing so. You could hear the thunder behind us. The rain is coming down. Keep an eye on how much rain does come down because that's going to be a big
let's hope we don't get
factor
electrocuted.
tomorrow. Yes, so we should wrap up soon. Also want to thank Tom Law.
Yes, Tom.
Checking
You're
in with us
welcome.
one
Thanks,
more time.
guys. Yeah, it's
I
fun.
got the law and I won.
Well, the law didn't win again.
Oh.
Don't push
Love
your
it.
luck with the law tonight, though, out there in the streets.
All right, so we take a look now as we get ready to close out this edition of Kentucky Oaks Live, presented by TwinSpires. The rain coming down, and look, hopefully we get better weather tomorrow. It's in the forecast, but for now, for Ren, for Tom, for everyone who's been on the set with us, and for thank you to everyone who tuned in. I'm Dan Tordjman. We'll see you tomorrow.
It can be overwhelming when you come and they play my old Kentucky home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the city of Louisville and the Commonwealth of Kentucky, riders up.
Holding line and ready for the start. They're off. It's the Kentucky Derby. I'ma meet you at the finish line. Finish line.